I know you're trying to get a social media clip, Charles, but
do you know?
I think Savita was trying to talk.
Choose a lane that is your own and stay in it, and don't lecture me because I won't be lectured by a child.
Well, that escalated quickly. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, your home for independent commentary and analysis on politics, media, internet insanity, and more. And we're going to check in with CNN's NewsNight panel debate show, which I was on pretty recently. And like I've told y'all in the past, I am a fan of. I like when people get together and argue about stuff and hash it out. But sometimes the debates get childish and personal and even quite rude and quite silly. And that did happen last night between the former New York Times columnist and progressive commentator, I guess we'll call him, Charles Blow, and then Lydia Moynihan, who is a conservative-leaning analyst for the New York Post. So here's the headline from Mediaite before I show you the clip that's going viral. "I won't be lectured by a child," Charles Blow scolds conservative on CNN. Former New York Times columnist Charles Blow took exception when a conservative guest accused him of trying to create a viral social media moment on Wednesday's edition of CNN NewsNight, which is, of course, exactly what he was doing. They were essentially arguing about something we discussed on this channel, which was Trump nominee's reluctance to admit that Biden won the 2020 election, which I think is incredibly stupid. But regardless, she acknowledged it, and he kept harassing her, even though she wasn't even really disagreeing with him. And then she told him, like, you're just trying to make a social media moment. And then he lashed out at her in a way that, if the ideological labels and genders were reversed and a older conservative man said this to a young progressive woman, it would almost certainly be viewed as a very sexist comment. Let's watch.
Do you want Jake Layton or do you want Bill Pulte?
I actually think that the two people that were on the Hill today.
Wait, hold on. The two people just now, but he couldn't do it.
The two people that were on the Hill today.
I know you're trying to get a social media clip, Charles, but
do you know?
I think Savita was trying to talk. I know you're trying to get your social media clip for the gotcha. I answered your question already, but I'm also not here to answer to you. So
I'm happy that you told me that because I really appreciate. I'm sorry. I really appreciate you lecturing me about what I'm here to do. Because I'm here because Abby's show invited me here, and I have been in journalism for a very long time. In fact, I came to the New York Times the year that you were born. So I suggest that you choose a lane that is your own and stay in it, and don't lecture me because I won't be lectured by a child. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Well, that escalated quickly. I love this. The "I'm old and sassy, so I must be right" line of argumentation. First of all, that's dumb. Just because you're old and just because you've been doing journalism, by the way, which he mostly means just writing rambling, angry columns for the New York Times. He's not some hard-hitting reporter on the ground in war zones. But just because you've been doing it for a long time doesn't mean that you are right on whatever debate you're having. And Lydia Moynihan is a reporter herself. I believe she's in her 30s. She's not even particularly young. And yet you're dismissing her and putting her down as a child after she pointed out correctly that you're just looking for a social media viral moment, which you regularly farm for when you're on that show. I'll say this. If a conservative man who was older had dismissed the opinion of a younger liberal woman and said, "I won't be lectured by a child," I think he'd be widely denounced as sexist for that. And there is a gender dynamic there. Now, I'm not saying that means, oh, cancel Charles Blow, anything like that. I don't support that. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy here. For sure. It is an absolute double standard. And it just went on. They just, whatever, just keep it moving. We won't call them out for that, won't point it out. And I'm like, that's really not cool. You're dismissing this woman's opinion and calling her a child. She's a grown woman, a full-time reporter and analyst, rather than explain her points or debate her at all. And you're not even addressing the accusation that you are absolutely, in fact, searching for a viral social media moment. He does this all the time, which, to be fair, all the panelists do. Scott Jennings does this. Adam Mockler does this. When he goes on, they're all looking for like a gotcha moment or a clip to pop off and go viral. Honestly, when I go on, I'm thinking about what I say and how it will be clipped up and whether or not I should ask a certain thing or do a certain thing. That's normal and inevitable. But for somebody to point out that you're doing that because you're pressuring them in bad faith after they already have acknowledged your point doesn't warrant you lashing out at them in this way where you're just like citing your age as proof of your correctness or just how long you've been around, congrats. I mean, do you want a cookie for being old? Nothing wrong with that, but it also doesn't make you correct, right? It's not an argument. If I just point out, I'm older than you, young whippersnapper. Like, what? Okay. Do you have a point? Do you have evidence? Do you have arguments? Or just your gray hairs are a substitute for logic? I don't know, man. I found this to be absolutely ridiculous and deeply hypocritical, because I really do believe if the roles were reversed, he would be accused of sexism. And this guy, Charles Blow, genuinely has a blimp-sized ego, because the narcissism of this man. Let me read you a post he put out on social media after this. That just this dude has like a god complex or something. It's actually crazy. Anyway, Charles Blow wrote on X, "Ma'am, now that I know you are stalking my social media, let me give you the clip that you were trying to avoid, but ironically created." I love how he thinks this clip makes him look good. What? I don't think so at all. Anyway, you're right. A clip was created, but I think it was mostly created by him, dismissing a woman as a child, a woman in her 30s, a professional journalist, because she questioned him and pushed back on him rather than actually argue with her. And stalking his social media is a pretty insane way to describe that she just looked at some of your posts when she found out she was going to be on a panel with you. That's just called basic due diligence. And she saw that you like farmed these panels for bad faith gotcha clips and then called you out on it. That's not stalking, right? Looking at a public personality's public commentary before you're about to be on a debate panel with them isn't stalking. It's like basic due diligence and research. Though I guess that's not your strong suit, Charles. I don't know. Anyway, here's the rest of his post where he goes full God complex. I asked a rather innocuous question in a mild tone. Do you acknowledge that Joe Biden won the election? But then she thought she was turning it when she delivered that weak line she'd been practicing in the mirror all afternoon. The irony here, as if he doesn't do exactly that. And she had already said, yes, Joe Biden won the election. She'd said it repeatedly. That's the point. And then you were still trying to do a gotcha on her, even though she wasn't denying what you were saying. That's why she got annoyed at you. Anyway, here's what he wrote where, oh my gosh, this guy really thinks that he thinks very highly of himself. Let's listen to this. Wrong move. The difference between you and me, ma'am, is age, experience, and a wicked tongue as sharp as a knife. I don't need to practice a line. I'm a seasoned gatherer. I do this as easily as I breathe. Quote, you come at the king, you best not miss. Oh my gosh. This dude just described himself as the king and went on a rant about how smart and articulate he is, because that's what really smart and articulate people have to do, is constantly assert how smart and articulate they are. No, not quite, actually. And this rant, if it was meant to make you look good or change the fact that people thought you were like an obnoxious grandstander on that panel because of that clip, it really did not have that effect, Charles. It really did not. And I can't say, because he is a former New York Times columnist, and I don't know exactly what happened there. But I can't say they're missing out on a seasoned and wisdom-fueled talent. I think they probably breathed a sigh of relief the second he walked out the door. But here's another point that I wanted to get to. It is it's already just stupid for him to dismiss Lydia's perspective because she's on the younger side. Again, it's not even like she's some 22-year-old, which also would still be dumb to dismiss her, but like she's in her 30s and she's a professional. But when there's people who are young that he agrees with, Charles Blow praises them because of their youth. I'll show you another tweet that he posted recently after being on the panel with a young man named Isaiah Martin. He wrote on X, This is my first time meeting Isaiah Martin, and the first thing I said to him was that as black men of a certain age, I swell with pride to see young black men like him doing their thing. I wanted to encourage him, not that he needed it, the same way I would want people to encourage my children, all of whom are older than Isaiah, by the way. Isaiah is whip smart and good on TV. He has a bright future ahead of him, and this uncle will be cheering. Now, I have no real issue with that post, but when you put it in the context of how he dismissed this conservative young woman's opinion because she's young, and then Isaiah, who's her age or maybe younger, he's like, love to see a young black guy on TV. I'm rooting for you. Amazing. So them being young is fine when you like them, and then it's like a fatal flaw that disqualifies them when they dare challenge you or disagree with you. Or is it because he's a man? Is it because he's white? I mean, I don't play those games, but Charles Blow most certainly does. And it's just a remarkable, remarkable piece of hypocrisy to have just days ago praised someone for their youth and then immediately use someone's youth to try to shut them down in a debate. I mean, consistency is not his strong suit, to be clear. But I just thought this was an astonishing moment. That it is going viral for this exact reason. I thought it was really hypocritical, and it was kind of revealing of the fact that she was right about him. He is looking for bad faith gotchas and for bizarre social media moments that are just seemingly more about his own narcissism than actually making points. But you know what? I don't know. I don't know what else to say about Charles Blow. It's about what I expect from him, having followed his work for years. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't yet, and do hit the like button while you are at it. If you support my independent-minded commentary and analysis, it's unfortunately not always the best business model. I'm sure Charles Blow and his kind of blowhard commentary has millions more subscribers than I do, but I do enjoy this better and find it to be more honest. So I'll keep doing that instead. But in exchange, I do need support from viewers like you, so hit the join button or click the link in the pinned comment to become a channel member and support me. I also do videos where I respond to member comments and questions, so if you have something you want to have me address on air, just become a channel member and drop it in the comments. And with that, guys, we'll leave it there for this one and be back with more real soon.